In every world, Gotham bleeds the same. But in this one, the story changed the night the gun went off. The child who should become the Batman never lived to wear the cowl, and the man who did was never meant to save anyone. This is not Bruce Wayne's Gotham. This is a world of Flashpoint. Batman, the Night of Vengeance. In Flashpoint Batman Night of Vengeance, we are introduced to the origins of how Thomas Wayne became the Dark Knight and the tragic aftermath of his wife Martha Wayne. A dark silhouette of a man sitting across from a woman in an office high above Gotham City. The skyline outside glows in the orange light of sunset, the Wayne and White Horse buildings visible in the distance. The man in this story is Thomas Wayne. His face is shadowed, his expression unreadable, dressed in a black suit and tie. The woman sits across from him with crossed legs, wearing glasses, a white blouse, and a black blazer. A notepad rests on her lap as she writes with a blue pen. Behind her, multiple screens display casino tables, roulette wheels, dice, poker chips, and cards. A close-up shows her pen marking boxes on a form. She is asking Thomas about his mental state. She gives Thomas a mental clean bit of health, stating that his insurance renewal will be confirmed. A long black limousine idles at the entrance, exhaust curling upward. As Thomas leaves his casino, he spots a man in a beige trench coat with gray hair and dark glasses. It was Commissioner Jim Gordon. As the black limousine moves across a bridge at sunset, surrounded by city traffic and glowing streetlights. Yellow taxis and buses fill the lanes, while pedestrians carrying umbrellas walk along the lower street below. Inside the car, Gordon informs Thomas that they are going to visit the home of Harvey Dent, as they reveal that their twin children were kidnapped by the Joker. However, Thomas responds to Gordon saying that there's nothing they can do about it. But Jim tells him to not say that to Harvey and his wife. At Harvey Dent's apartment, Dent unleashes his anger towards Thomas and Jim. He mentions that other villains such as Hush, Scarecrow, and Poison Ivy are dead, but Gordon reminded Harvey that Gotham security were not responsible for their deaths, to which Harvey reacts stating that Batman was the one that killed them. Since Thomas was the one that privatized the police force in Gotham, he promised that it was supposed to be an effective way to stop crime. In a cold manner, Thomas told Dent that Gordon and his team have done what they had promised to do. But Harvey's wife Gilda, who was standing by the window with her mascara running down her face, turns her head and tells him that her children were in the hands of a child killer. Wayne slowly stands up. He reassures her that he will bring them back. Then he tells both of them that he gave his word. Harvey quickly responded stating that if they fail to bring back the children, he threatens to make sure that the Gotham security, Wayne's casinos, and hotels will be finished. The two men begin walking toward a doorway, shadows stretching behind them as they disappear into the building's interior. Gordon informs Thomas that at the same time as the Joker escaped Arkham, reports of homeless people going missing. However, he believes that it could be nothing, but Thomas said that he would look into it as he approached his Batman costume. In the darkness of the Gotham sewers, two rats with glowing eyes huddle together near a wall. A beam of light cuts through the shadows as Batman descends a metal ladder, his figure illuminated by the glow of a handheld flashlight. Water drips steadily, echoing through the tunnels. As he explores the tunnels, he could hear a faint voice, and he follows it. He points his flashlight down the dark tunnels, still following the sound of the voice. The voice led him to a large underground chamber, unaware that something was in the water, watching his every move. Batman found a steel door locked with a metal bar across the door. Once he opened the door, to his surprise, he found a small group of people begging for help. He noticed that most of the hostages had missing limbs, with most of them having bite marks on them. They looked behind back in horror as the creature that held them for days towering over him. Batman turns around and sees Killer Croc with his jaws wide open, exposing his razor-sharp teeth. He growls in anger at Batman, and in his right hand he was holding a machete. Killer Croc swings his machete at Batman, but was able to block the attack with the metal bar that blocked the door. Using all his strength to hold off Croc, Batman pushed back and hit the savage beast's hand, knocking the weapon out of his hands. But Croc was quick enough to grab Batman by the head and thrust him into the dark waters below. As Batman was pushed further into the water, he starts to have flashbacks. A young Bruce Wayne stares ahead, his face frozen in shock, eyes wide, mouth open, as chaos unfolds before him. He watches his father, Thomas Wayne, reaches out in desperation against a gunman. Behind him, his wife, Martha Wayne, clutches onto her child, with horror etched into her face. The alley around them is dimly lit, littered with trash and broken glass. Suddenly, the scene erupts with a gun firing with flashes blaze red against the night as gunfire explodes, the sound cutting through everything. Then we quickly cut back to Killer Croc, continuing his assault on Batman. He thrashes beneath the surface, bubbles rising violently through the red-tinted water. Croc's massive arm bursts downwards, flesh torn and blood pouring from deep wounds. Then Batman was able to reach out his hand. He pokes at Croc's eye, scratching at him, causing him to fall backwards into water. In a final desperate surge, Killer Croc erupts from the water, roaring in agony. Batman stands firm in front of the savage beast, unmoved, his figure cold and unyielding as the beast lets out a scream that echoes through the sewer's dark corridors. The monster swings its arm in a powerful arc, water splashing around them as it strikes. Batman raises his blade in defense, but the force of blow lands hard. Batman was successful in stabbing Croc in the head. Blood sprays as the impact connects, a brutal collision between predator and predator. The sound of the strike echoes through the sewer, sharp and final, as blood poured down Croc's face. Batman let go of the blade and let Croc fall into the water. Batman then turned his attention to the captives, preparing to take them to safety. The city looms under a cold green sky, its shadows stretching long over the streets. Inside a dimly lit bar, the hum of conversation falters as Batman's voice cuts through the silence. He questions Harvey Bullock about an eyeless body was pulled out of the river that morning. The bartender in this universe is Renee Montoya. She freezes at the sight of the dark night, while the regulars shift uneasily in their seats. At a corner table, Batman continues questioning Bullock. Then Harvey stammers that he didn't know about the body. A moment later, Batman's fist drives into his gut, knocking the breath from his lungs. The bar goes dead silent. Batman leans closer, voice low and cold, still demanding answers about the body. Renee put a baseball bat next to Batman's head. She swings the bat at him, but he was able to catch it in his hand. The sound of it cracking against bone echoes through the bar as Bullock pulls himself up coughing and groans, blood spilling onto the counter as Batman looms over him, eyes glowing red in the dim light. Renee defended Harvey, stating that he didn't see anything as he was passed out when Joker came, her voice trembling but defiant. Batman lowers the bat, his cape casting a heavy shadow. She escorts him to the backroom area. As they walk down a small staircase, Renee explains that the Joker entered the bar and was offering pizza to the customers. Everyone refused, but one man didn't, and once he ate the pizza. He was infected by the Joker toxins. In the dim basement beneath the bar, laughter echoes through the cluttered storage room, sharp, hysterical, and wrong. The man sitting among the beer crates rocks back and forth, eyes wide and wild, laughter spilling uncontrollably from his mouth. Renee whispers to Batman, asking him what could they do to help him. Batman's gaze is steady grim. He tells her that there's nothing anybody can do. He steps closer, his voice dropping to a growl. He tells her that what happens next, she can blame it on him. The man's laughter breaks into choking gasps as Batman puts his hands around the man's head. He turns the man's head at great speed and strength, and then a snap. It is heard. His neck twists unnaturally, body collapsing forward as the laughter dies in his throat. Renee covers her mouth, trembling. Batman walks away back into the shadows. The Batmobile tears across the Gotham highway, its engine echoing like thunder beneath the dark skyline. Batman calls the Oracle, which in this universe is Selina Kyle. Selina's calm tone filters through the comms, surrounded by the faint purring of her cats. She glances at her monitors. She informs Batman that the body that was found was a John Randall, a pizza delivery man. Batman's jaw tightens. He asks her to run a trace on all pizzerias and locations of all of his deliveries, but Selina cuts him off. She tells him that Jim Gordon already had the information hours ago. She tries to call him, but he had turned his phone off. She mentions to Batman that he had reported to Selina that he had found a pizza delivery car, but its location was near Wayne Manor. Selina receives a video call from Gordon's phone. Batman tells her patch him in. The call comes through, but a young boy is seen wearing Gordon's glasses. He sits shaking, dried tears and drops of blood covering his face. A laughter is heard in the background. The phone then moves, showing Gordon on the ground crawling towards his gun, as his blood spills on the floor. As he grabs his gun, a foot appears and steps on the gun. The laughter grows louder every second. Gordon turns his body around, revealing that his neck was sliced. Blood was pouring out. He fights as much as he could to keep going, but his injuries took its toll on him and he dies. The phone turns again, but this time to reveal a woman with Joker makeup, and she had a huge smile as she laughs down the phone at Batman. The Batmobile crashes down to the darkening sky, smoke and dust curling around it as the engines die out. Batman bursts from the wreckage, his cape whipping through the air. He sprints to the main door of Wayne Manor. He bursts the doors while open and then lets out a large roar. He calls out to the killer, which had turned out to be his wife Martha Wayne, with a sad twist of fate in this universe. She is the clown princess of crime, the Joker. The room lies in ruin. Streaks of red across the floor, torn curtains framing a dying sunset. A small boy kneels beside his sister. She lays on the ground bleeding from her chest, her lifeless face frozen in a twisted parody as she had tape covering her mouth with a smile drawn on it. Batman steps in the shadows, his boots echoing softly on the blood-stained floor. He sees the lifeless body of his friend and partner Jim Gordon, and then looks at the children. The boy cries for his sister, but then she makes a small groaning sound. Batman couldn't believe that she was still alive. He stops beside the children, his expression hollow beneath the cowl. The boy's eyes lift him, wide, wet, and trembling. He tells the boy that he is there to help them. In the flickering half-light, the scene tightens into horror. The Joker looms at the edge of the room, watching, staying silent and still. Batman kneels beside the little girl, his gloved hands pressing against the wound, desperate and trembling. He uses his medical training to help treat her wounds. Her eyes widen, glassy with pain and confusion, tears streaking to the smeared paint on her face. He rips away the tape that sealed her mouth, the sound sharp against the dead air. Her lips tremble, breath comes shallow and uneven. She tells Batman that she feels cold. The air splits with a sound of rage. The Joker bursts in the shadows, movement violent and desperate, fury overtaking grief. The clown-faced woman turns, eyes wide and wild, her face twisting between triumph and madness. A hammer swings. The impact echoes, blunt, final, merciless. Every blow lands heavier than the last, driven by years of pain and guilt that words could never hold. She sneers through the madness, her voice a knife of mockery and memory. The scene becomes a blur of violence and heartbreak, the collision of two souls forever broken by the same night. The room erupts in chaos. Laughter, manic, piercing, echoes to the walls as shadows twist and collide. The Joker was unhinged and grinning. As she raises a hammer high above her head, fury and madness fused into one motion. Batman struggles beneath her weight, holding the dying child close, blood streaking the floor. He reaches for her wrist, one desperate grasp, but she only smiles wider, eyes alight with cruel joy. For an instant, their faces meet, his in anguish, hers in madness. And then, glass shatters. Their bodies crash through the window, swallowed by the night, locked in a tragic dance of love and vengeance. Glass rains from the sky as both figures crash into the wet stone below. The storm howls, thunder merging with laughter, rain mixing with blood. Batman cushioned the impact of the fall, with his wife laying on top of him. She asked him that if he knows what a failure he was. He only agreed with her. She laughs at his answer. She called him a liar and that he was full of anger to be aware of it. He responds by saying that all the blood on his hands hasn't changed anything. She shouts back, stating that he was wrong. She raised her hammer again, ready to attack. Joker said that it's changed. Batman braces himself for the attack, but she drops the hammer and starts to run away from him. Rain pours through the night, drenching the ground in silver and shadow. The Joker runs across the soaked earth, laughter echoing, wild and untamed. Batman catches up to her. As he holds her, she tells him that she wants to live in a world where he doesn't exist. Thomas asks her if that's what she really wants, even if it means that would cease to exist as well. He repeats the events of the night when Bruce died. She tells him to shut up, but Thomas keeps going, describing the events and mentioning the gunman firing 2 shots. Martha screams in anger as lightning flashes in the sky. Then Thomas ends it by saying that 2 people died that night and their son lives. He reveals to her that he has a chance to change the past and rewrite history, but he asks her if he should do it. The rain falls heavier now, cold against their skin, as if the sky itself weeps for them. She trembles, her painted face cracking under the weight of the question that should never be asked. Her voice quivers, fragile, almost childlike, as she reaches for one final truth about the son they lost. Martha asks Thomas, what does Bruce do with his life? He tells her that he follows in his father's footsteps. At first she felt pleased that Bruce becomes a doctor, but when she looks at Thomas, he has his head down, telling her that he doesn't become a doctor. Her eyes widen, grief and horror colliding in a single, broken realization. Bruce becomes Batman. She screams as she runs away again. Batman chases after her. She tells Thomas to stay away from her. She doesn't want her only son to become Batman. The ground splits open, a cruel echo of their shared fate. Her body tilts backward, hair catching the wind, her painted smile frozen in disbelief. Batman reaches out for her, but a bat blocks his hand. Just then a swarm of bats fly out of the hole in the ground. Thomas looks down the hole and sees Martha lying on the ground, with her body battered and broken from fall. She struggles to speak, but she tries to say that it's a bat, but she dies from her injuries. Now Thomas Wayne truly has lost everything, his son, his best friend, and now his wife. His only hope now is to help Barry Allen to restore the timeline. In a world twisted by grief, one man's loss reshaped the night itself. Thomas Wayne became something more than human, a creature born of sorrow, rage, and love that could never be healed. He wasn't the symbol Gotham needed. He was its consequence. And as the rain fell over a city built on broken hearts, Batman, the father who could not save his son, was left haunted by the one truth that echoed louder than any scream. In Flashpoint's world, some tragedies aren't meant to be undone. In a world twisted by grief, one man's loss reshaped the night itself. Thomas Wayne became something more than human, a creature born of sorrow, rage, and love that could never be healed. He wasn't the symbol Gotham needed. He was its consequence. And as the rain fell over a city built on broken hearts, Batman, the father who could not save his son, was left haunted by the one truth that echoed louder than any scream. In Flashpoint's world, some tragedies aren't meant to be undone.